success when you are having competition, that is to say conflict resolution, where I've always got to one-up you, and then you've got to one-up me. Inevitably, victory is short-lived. The flower is a winter flower, and it will die quickly. A powerful simile. Again, all of the similes. Jump down 2 more paragraphs. The mandarin's heart sickened within him like an autumn fruit upon an ancient tree. Again, powerful symbols. Go through our similes. Go through this text and you'll begin to see all of these, right? Again, the price that's paid on page 398, since it had taken a month to rebuild the wall the first time, they had to neglect business and crops, and therefore were somewhat weaker and poorer. In other words, trying to defend themselves over and over again only leads to increasingly greater amounts of weakness for them, right? And then the conflict resolution finally has to come to its penultimate end. Notice, they meet together, the 2 mandarins, the 2 leaders, and they're so old now that they can barely even sit up. And they see the kites flying, and it is this symbol of kites flying that will become the powerful symbol of this allegory. Jot down, what do you think the kites and the kites flying mean? In the idea that for a kite to work, think about this, the kite may be beautiful, but laying on the ground, it is nothing, right? It's not actually a kite, it's just a work of art laying there. But when you add the kite to the wind, then they're symbiotic. They go together. That is to say, conflict resolution only truly can happen when walls, right, are not the central thing, focus, but rather cooperation, collaboration, which of course requires trust. One without the other is nothing. Go back to page 400, right? We shall build like a golden kite. The wind will beautify the kite and carry it to wondrous heights, and the kite will break the sameness of the wind's existence and give it purpose and meaning. One without the other is nothing. Together, all will be beauty and cooperation and a long and enduring life. So be it, is the final lines of the text. All right, let's play the game at level 2. At 2A, what for you is the primary message here about conflict resolution? Is it an idea that says the only way that we ever can ultimately resolve conflict on the planet is to find ways to work together, to cohabitate, to figure out how we can resolve conflicts by being somehow together, right? Another major message here, notice that sometimes when you start one-upping, right, escalation of conflict, the only thing that ultimately can happen is the very thing you think you're gaining security is not security at all, right? Not security at all. At level 2B, obviously the symbolism of the kite is important here. Let's as well pay attention to the power of an allegory. It's a pretty simple story, but it's got a sophisticated capacity, right? It leads us to kind of go, there's a lot going on in this story in regards to conflict resolution. So let's write down the power of a simple story to tell us important truths, right, at 2B. At 3A, obviously we've got to ask some questions about conflict resolution. What is for you your favorite text? It may be a video game. It may be a movie. It may be a song that says we got to figure out a way to come together, to complement each other. Notice it's not that the 2 towns have to look exactly alike. No. The power is understanding one's the kite, one's the wind. They have to go together. We all have to work together. What is your favorite text that suggests that for you? And finally at 3B, this is an interesting question. What's the time in your life you finally figured it out? That there has to be the kite, there has to be the wind. They got to go together. What is that for you? I've had, for example, freshmen that say they have to admit that one of my best friends actually started out my enemy. And I didn't get on very well. And then I figured out, wow, there's something about that person I'm attracted to. That is to say, we complement each other. What is a relationship for you in your life that you can say, opposites, and yet somehow we complement each other, we get on with each other. And there's something kind of compelling about that idea. Well, there you go, an introduction to the 2 texts. To finish, though, at 3A, ask yourself this question. Why is it that your textbook company put together this text with the scarlet ibis. Why? How do they go together? Many of you will probably point out that both of these texts show a respect for differences, right? Well, thank you. That's the end of Unit 2 and our study of short stories. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you.